Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, where I am not going to do a rerun run this time because I need a break. Let's see what we got here. 0ZG, ZGT2X, we got the negative, Black Feather, and Void. Horrible rate of fire, horrible damage, but a great spacebar item, and what? You wouldn't. Okay, sure. It's gonna be one of those. I've sucked up the D-Infinity. The D-Infinity is my voided item of choice. Once every 6 rooms, or rather, whenever we choose to use the D-Infinity, we are going to reroll our whole run, reroll all consumables on the ground, reroll our stats, reroll the enemies, reroll an existing item pedestal, or, you know, just for kicks, sometimes we'll reroll everything. Depending on what we got. Okay, you know what? Get the freaking Twitter closed here. I don't care. Twitter. I like to having you up in the background. Just because I've usually got a Twitter tab open in the background. I'm not checking on it while I play the episode. It's just habit. Don't die here early. That would be embarrassing. Even though our stats are terrible. But now Twitter's always like, hey, you want to know what's going on Bloomberg News? I don't care. Do I strike you as the kind of person who invests in the S&P 500? If you said no, well, you know, shame on you. Looks can be deceiving. It's important, you know. Make your money work for you. Put it in an index fund earning an average of 7% annually. You know, it adds up over time. At the same time, part of that hands-off situation means that I just don't give a crap about what's happening. You know, oh, Tesla has made $1 billion today. Good, okay? I always thought that guy was unappreciated in life, even though he died like 95 years before I don't know when Nikola Tesla died. The point is, would start broadcasting NHL playoff games through that little box on the Twitter page, and I'm okay, but nothing else. Bloomberg News, I don't care. Unless you run ads in front of these videos, in which case, great work. Crack team of journalists over there. Just about the last reputable source for financial news in this crazy mixed up world. Anyway, how was today's daily? Well, I mean, it's tough to say because this is not a daily. How's today's run? It's horrible. Oh, this is like actually awful. But here's my major incentive not to die is because Void D-Infinity is not necessarily good. It's too much uncertainty, but that's what makes it kind of enjoyable. And maybe even more so than kind of enjoyable. Keep in mind, I could void an item, but reroll it while I void, or alternatively, reroll every other item I have on the run while I void it, which I don't even know what the implications of that are. So, I'm liking the optics on this run. It's got Zane written all over it. Certainly, this is not a run that I would expect to pivot into a rerun anytime soon. And the main reason for that is, holy hell, have you noticed that we have roughly half of our usual rate of fire and then also below average damage? Making this probably like a once a month bad start as far as DPS goes. But still 2 HP means that it's not implausible to make it out of this. And we did get a great starting item as far as active items go, even though our trinket is presently useless, and the negative is just, I mean, at the best of times, that item is barely noticeable, so I'm not trying to make it sound like we're screwed here, because in all honesty, I'd rather be in this situation than have average damage and, like, substantially below average speed with the same amount of HP, in which case we might already be dead by this point, but there is an out for this run, but it's going to be unlikely. Like, we're going to be one of those people you see on the news where, or maybe some of you are watching this video, where you're going to be like, you know, I shouldn't even be alive, but look at what I've done for myself in my life. It's an amazing thing. That's where we are right now, not to make light of the, you know, situation. I think we should do it. We D4'd ourselves and sucked up nothing. So yeah, we should not have done that. In case that's not abundantly clear. Sweet. Okay, one more floor of that. Thanks, Curse of the Blind. Thanks me for being an idiot, but also thank you, Curse of the Blind, for enabling my idiocy. You know, I think with 1.06 speed we can just roll it. Yeah, okay. Alright, so what's the plan? Well, honestly, I'm fairly unconcerned about a deal with the devil. I'm very much concerned with survival, and somewhat skeptical that we're going to be able to hit that goal on this floor. If we miss a deal with the devil but live, I'll be a happy camper. This is a heck of a shot speed on this guy. I will say we started with above 0 luck. Not much above 0, but above 0 luck, so it's not implausible that we at least get enough red hearts to live. Someone's going to explode soon, and it's going to change the dynamic on this room. By the way, you know, if you want an indication for how I feel about today's run, boss rush is probably out of the question for us, and we're on the 2nd floor. So that's a good... I'm trying to think of the word that I'm looking... A good emblem. It's emblematic of why I don't like today's run at the present moment. However, it is a huge step for us. I shot at him as many times as I could shoot at him before he hit me. What can I do? But, there is still a way out. You're not going to love this strategy, I'll tell you that right now. But as long as we're going through heck, you know, it's like Winston Churchill said, if you're going through heck, keep going. He might have used some more colorful language there, I don't know. You go skinny room, or do you go, big room? I went skinny room, but there's some skinny room variants that are, not beloved by me right now. Especially considering, you know, if we get hit once, we die. Dude, that was horrible. Let's restart. Okay. Well, it's the right time to have a loss. JPCW2S0H, we got... I forget, Tonsil? And Flush. Great damage, great rate of fire, actually. I'm not just saying that to draw a contrast with the last run. I wish I'd lived on the last run, and the damage that I took at the end was indisputably something that we could have done better about preventing, but... I dodged, and then he shot. I should have waited for him to shoot and then dodged, but, I mean, you don't need to explain to me how to dodge those attacks. I've dodged, like, 500 of them in my Isaac career. Just, unfortunately, chose the wrong moment to miss that one. We have no desire right now to take Thunder Thighs unless we get a huge speed upgrade somewhere else on this floor. I think that 0.86 speed is the problem. Hilariously, my run has sort of given me exactly what I asked for in like a be careful what you wish for sort of situation. I said I would much rather have the last run than have above average damage but severely below average speed. However, I would argue that 0.86 speed is not severely below average. It's like one standard deviation below the norm. It's almost unnoticeable unless you find yourself in some rooms that are already fairly tough, because the enemies are speedy. But our damage is actually, like, really good. To have damage over 4 and a rate of fire that's below, I guess, 10, is indicative of, like, we're beating the average at both ends here. You know, we got more questions right, and we got harder questions right that were worth more points. That's not a very good school analogy, but the school analogies, they're good because we all have some familiarity with it. You know, I make similes and idioms a lot. It's a very niche skill, but it does help me communicate in a way that I think is more universally relatable. Bad idiom is like, you know, it's like when you're playing lawn bowling. You see, you've already cut out like 98% of your audience there. It just doesn't have a familiarity with lawn bowling. Of course, aristocrats like you and me, we've got a great affinity for lawn bowling. We know it's a gentleman's game. Height of athleticism, balance, and form. But on the other hand, not everybody shares our taste in sports. Now, again, Plan C is just an item that might as well not exist, in my opinion. The use for it is so niche that it never really factors into our game plans here. One day, maybe. I believe, you know, it's a million monkeys working on a million typewriters would eventually make William Shakespeare's plays, right? One day, Plan C is going to be one of those monkeys. Is going to be the chosen monkey. Spider butt is okay. Nod leaf is great. So now, I mean, nod leaf is a compromise. And the compromise here is very simply this. If we get any orbital, nod leaf is really, really good. Now we owe it to ourselves not to die, by the way, in case that's not obvious, like on every single run. But if we die on this run, after getting what we asked for on the last run, we're in a rough spot. Now, that Spirit Heart, resist the notion to suggest that that Spirit Heart has carried us, because we haven't taken Red Heart damage. We haven't even really come too close to taking Red Heart damage. But I will say that I would be lying if I wasn't thankful for that Spirit Heart. But I'm thankful for every Spirit Heart, baby. I don't know why I threw a baby in at the end there. It made it sound weird. It's one of those words that doesn't sound right coming out of my mouth. I don't know. I'm trying to think of some other ones. I don't get bothered by a lot of words. They're just words to me. Some people are bothered by the word moist. Doesn't bother me at all. I sort of understand it. It's kind of like it's got weird, you know, implications, and then also it has like a little bit of a snake hiss at the end of this, the end of the word. Doesn't really bother me. What bothers me is hearing a grown man say, well, that's not true. Hearing a man in his 20s say honey. That sends shivers down my spine, and not in a good way, ladies. It's just something like a 50-year-old man says honey, you're like, yeah, you know, you've earned it. You guys have been in a partnership for a while, perhaps. When you hear like a 20-year-old guy say honey, you're like, 6 years ago, you were 14. You can't say honey yet. You haven't earned it. I don't know what other words you should be using. I'm levying an unfair criticism at you right now, but I'm just saying, that's an earned word. So that worked somehow. And you know we're a little bit out of sync when we almost take damage against Blighted Ovum. Boss is very, very simple to deal with, but here's where we're going to start balling out of control. What did I tell you? Black powder, absolutely worthless for us in our current situation. Let's head down to the next floor. Great item. We need some speed to deal with it, though. Nah, it's not good enough. So what is, what's our primary course of action on this run? No, what we actually desire on this run is a cube of meat. So if we can get like a library, Book of Revelations, force that cube of meat into existence. I don't really need to get rid of Flush. I think it's like basically the Necronomicon, and it nukes down some bosses in one hit, but really like that's a pretty niche concern. Nice if we can get it, but unlikely to be of principal importance. It's debatable. Here, if we get a bomb back, yeah, then it's not debatable. Perfect. Keep moving. Obviously, cube of meat is probably the most likely orbital, but there's other ones that can show up on item rooms of varying degrees of usefulness. Sack Dagger can also show up on deals with the devil, which would be good. Or, I was going to say deals with the angel. We can get Guardian Angel, but can't really do anything for us. Get a range upgrade from Anemic, an item that is largely pretty awful in my opinion. And a battery charge. Most of the time, I wouldn't say the battery charge is like a no-brainer. Not battery charge, just literally the battery. Most of the time, it's a no-brainer if you have a spacebar item that has some worth to it, but we're pretty much gonna use Flush whenever it's available, unless the room is so easy that Flush has no purpose even, like, existing on it. You notice, you know, you gotta... To thine own self be true. So we're using black powder. We're using it to make the actual world's smallest circles, but... Hey, when it works, man. Some of these enemies are still terrestrial. Somehow that room made me look like a genius. I assure you that was not intentional. Kind of wondering, actually, why I'm seeming to struggle a little bit right now, because our stats are actually, except for speed, our stats are pretty good. You know, 5 damage with a 9 rate of fire should not be leaving me feeling this bereft of, you know, ability to kill the enemy, but I suppose that is still somewhat modest in the whole scheme of things. You know, 5 damage is a lot for the first floor, but pretty quickly can get outpaced by some of the enemies that you face, especially if you find it so tough to dodge because of, I don't know, your brain not working right, or speed being a little bit on the lower end of the average today, at least. Which is, I think, probably the most honest way to describe our speed stat right now. It's not horrible, it's just on the low end of average. So, this is not my ideal boss fight right now. But Monstro should eat it pretty quickly. If we can get Monstro to land on black powder, he will probably die. Of course, as soon as he landed on it, it disappeared, but this should do it. Okay, now we can fight Fistula, and fighting Fistula on a big room is not really a problem. We're also going to try to at least throw down the occasional black powder circle, because we know that once Fistula pops into its terminal form, it's going to have silkworms, so... Silkworms are going to be tough for us to deal with relatively modest damage right now, so... Not quite fast enough to make this circle work. Really felt to me like I should say not quite fast enough to make this circle workle, and that means that I have found a word. I've found my moist. Because workle, I don't respect that as a word. It's too Ned Flanders for me. It's too Dokely. Honestly, relatively good boss fight. Greatly reduced rate of fire, and we got 1 Spirit Heart out of it. It's not a game breaker, but it's pretty good. Like 5 damage, 4.97, but you know what I mean. 5 damage with the ability to... Oh, okay, that was pretty bad. Basically, shoot 50% faster is really, really good. It's worth it, for sure. So let's get Flush ready, and then... it's probably a secret room. Let's get Flush ready, and then go to that boss trap room. The big item for us right now is 9 lives. Obviously, the actual big item is Mom's Knife, Brimstone, you know, Tech X, Epic Fetus. There's a couple of items that mean more, but 9 lives is the best because it gives us a huge safety net and actually doesn't change our HP at all. So 9 lives has effectively no cost right now. And, like, no cost, great benefit is a pretty good value in my world. Harlequin Baby. It's not worth too much. I recognize the direness of this situation now that we've lost even more HP. And this HP is my bad. I stepped on creep I had no business getting hit by. So instead of going to the boss trap room, where Flush, now that I think about it, is fairly unlikely to be worthwhile. I mean, there's a chance that... Help. There is a chance that this boss fight is the right course of action. Let's give it a shot. Bighorn. Probably not the right course of action given the prodigious amount of bombs that are going to be created here. And I don't think Flush is going to do too much for us. And our speed makes it pretty tough to dodge bombs to begin with. Okay, I didn't even see the hole open up there. Ha 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 ha. But still. Of course, if I can get black powder to work, I'd be stoked. In an extremely rare twist of fate, I might not even want to go to the deal with the devil if we get one. Because there is a chance that it's Krampus. And if it's Krampus, we could be in a pretty tough spot. We didn't get a deal with the devil, and we got Spirit Hearts plus rate of fire increase to the tier cap. So I think really we got lucky there, but we did play well against Bighorn as well. We got pretty lucky Bighorn didn't drop any troll bombs. If he had done that, we would be in a world of trouble. Instead, though, we seem to be holding it together relatively well. I will say, for all of our HP-related problems on this run, I'm really glad we didn't take Thunder Thighs. Which would have been an even worse situation. I mean, a dime from a fire is great. But King Baby is largely irrelevant as far as items go. If we're gonna do the boss trap for a golden chest, I have to think a little harder about that, I think, because 1 golden chest is not worth that much. Perhaps more importantly, one golden chest is worth like exactly as much as another golden chest. So if we can find a golden chest that we don't have to fight a bunch of bosses to deal with, it's much better for us. So there's 2 plays for the Hermit card here. One of them is to save a key and also get you out of the boss trap room in 2 floors. The other one is to use it right now and save you half a spirit heart. We're going to do the one that saves us half a spirit heart, because HP is slightly concerning right now. I think we're going to leave. And it's really because I'm a baby, but it's also because HP is at a premium right now. At least for now. And that's a great use of that, thankfully. Algiz, Awaz. Yera's great, obviously, but Awaz gets us out of boss rush, which is probably more relevant to me right now. What a waste of the Bracano rune on my part. But if you're gonna take Awaz, you might as well double up and then take Algiz, and then take Algiz into the boss trap room back here, and then use one Awaz to try to find like a black market or a crawl space, and then take the next Awaz down. In fact, we could also use an Algiz to just open that, which we probably will. So maybe we just got money, but we got money at a cost of nothing. Keep in mind our next boss is going to be mega fatty, which is why I'm not investing in this Algiz rune right now. He's going to die very quickly, so kill him while this black powder circle's still around. Oh, it's actually Chubb. My bad. Either way, like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other for our purposes right now. It's a pretty smart play, actually, if I may say so myself. Do we care about boss rush? Yes. Yeah, I mean, we do is the thing. So even with 0.86 speed, I do feel a desire. Well, first pop that, see what you get. Okay, that's just a ticket down to the next floor. Then you take the Algiz rune. We are doing this to steal a free item out of the boss rush. So if we don't get the boss rush, it's a little bit of a whiff on our part. We spent about 45 seconds here to get Abel. It's a bad play unless you know, can divorce yourself from the idea that boss rush matters. And I'm probably guilty of overvaluing boss rush a lot, so I recognize that maybe I'm... Either way, Abel's not going to be that good, okay? You can't Jedi mind trick me into thinking that I'm now, like, apologetic to Abel. However, did it really cost us anything? Probably not. So I'm going to take the fishtail, which up until recently, someone tweeted me, and then they're like, hey, have you ever had fishtail? Like, have you unlocked it? I don't think I've ever seen it on one of your runs. And then I thought about it, and I was like, fishtail? I ain't never heard of an item, or a trinket like that, rather. And then I looked it up on the wiki, and I was like, oh, you're talking about the weird lawn dart. Which is obviously my own ignorance and not theirs, but apparently what this does is it doubles the amount of flies or spiders, well, and spiders, I guess, rather, that you get when you generate spiders. So to have this with, like, a Guppy-related item, such as Guppy's head, or just the transformation, or the mulligan, or mom's wig, you know, sissy long legs, you get the idea, can allow us to compensate for not really crushing it in the damage department right now, although I can't complain too hard. Still waiting on that one orbital, because... Oh, I mean, that's unfortunate. You gotta think about it here, because... I mean, fishtail... As soon as I actually read the description of the trinket, instead of just trying to rely on figuring it out in the, you know, real-world environment, I was like, that trinket's great. I just didn't want to deal with the time on this room. No greed. No greed. It's greed. Why no greed? Because I wanted to buy a key and then also have a chance to buy something in here, but... whatever. Steam sale is not great for us, but life goes on. But we need the extra speed right now. 0.15 speed is actually, like... relative to 0.86 speed is something like a 20% increase, so... even something as relatively modest as that is pretty important when you're low on speed to begin with. So we got 100% deal with the devil chance. 9 lives is still kind of the dream, but I think we have enough spirit heart protection right now to be like, you know what? If you want to give me something high damage, I can roll with it for a while. I can make it work. It is, I mean, we gotta try to go to the item room, but it is gonna set us back. Not to mention, like, black powder is probably, sadly, our best chance at dealing a lot of damage to enemies quickly, so I do think that there's a good case to be made that the goat hoof, sadly, despite the fact that it's a somewhat boring trinket, is also simultaneously the exact right call. Okay, good work, good work. 100% no Krampus, no Krampus. Okay, growth hormones is great. No Krampus, that's right, let's go. Abaddon's big money. Now we've got 8 damage, 5 rate of fire, and very good speed. So you know what? Oh, that didn't work. I think we can afford to take the fishtail when we find it. It's been teleported to a room that's actually closer to where we want to go now, so that's fine. And I'm banking on the idea... That was horrible, obviously, but I'm banking on the idea that I can also still make it to boss rush here. And that's going to be a bit of an ask, and Pokeball's not going to help us too much en route for that. So I feel like we whiffed a little bit. Please, no Curse of the Maze shenanigans. Just let me take the fishtail. In my defense, this looks much less like a fishtail than it does like a weird dart that, you know, Tommy Davidson would shoot into Jim Carrey's neck during the part in Ace Ventura 2 When Nature Calls, when he's in that tribe and he fights him and he gets called the White Devil. Remember? Is that, I mean, it's not a current reference, but it's a movie that I feel like has a place in the public consciousness. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't like an exclusive reference. With 1 key, I'm basically going to go, I mean, I probably should use, in my defense, I thought with 8 damage they'd be dusted pretty quick, but we'll use our key basically at whatever important room comes first. You gotta look, but okay, go up here. 2 keys for those bombs. Yeah, in another world, maybe, where we had keys. Oh, you guys were immune during that. Okay, so, bit of a whiff. We're getting tilted, and we're getting tilted for a bad reason. There's no reason to... We got 2 keys now, so check it, check it, check it. You gotta try it, I think. Gotta grab this, forget broken stopwatch. Forgot what I was gonna say. There's no reason to take damage against like easy enemies, even when you're trying to go fast, because the odds of you getting an item on boss rush that compensates for the bad damage you've taken is fairly low. Now, we did go to the last item room. I'm not gonna go to this item room because I think getting our choice of 4 items from boss rush is more valuable than going back and maybe getting 1 item. And I mean, I shouldn't say maybe, because the only uncertainty in this situation is whether or not we'll still make it to the boss rush, right? It's like, that's what's actually in question here. That was bad. It could be Krampus. I gotta check. Not Krampus. Not good, but not Krampus. Alright, that was way too much spending to get something from here, and I've been rewarded with nothing. In fact, I have no desire to take any of these, and that's a new low for boss rush, is to go to it and be like, all 4 of these items are garbage. So that's a new one. Is the Awaz rune now horrible? Well, it's not good. Certainly in this is one of the situations, this rarely happens, that you make the boss rush attempt, and then when you get there, you go, well, everything is bad. And I'm not talking about everything, you know, being not worth it. I mean, it actually was... Stepped on creep. It actually would have been bad for us to step on a spike to pick up any of those items. Maybe you can get some cool stuff done with the clicker. I don't know. I think that's a bit of a reach. But it's up to us to not lose this one. We paid much too large of a price trying to make it to boss rush. Now, we gotta... I mean, I'm making it sound like we're about to begin the Battle of Helm's Deep or something like that. It's not the case. Still just playing a video game here. But the video game is an extension, in many ways, of, you know, mental and mechanical prowess, and it would be emasculating to some extent to lose on a run in which we've been given ample benefit. Not ridiculous benefit, but ample benefit, no question. So let's engage in the mental exercise of saving ourselves from a downward slope right now. You ever, you know, you're riding your bike. Riding your bike uphill sucks, you know? It's a lot of work. As soon as you get to like a 15-degree slope, a 15-degree slope times like a few hundred meters, it's gonna have you sweating bullets. At least if you're, you know, living the kind of lifestyle I'm living most of the time. But at least there's control in going up a hill. Going down a hill is actually substantially more dangerous. I mean, I'm not a professional cyclist, obviously, but in my opinion, it's more dangerous because it's much harder to slow yourself down when you're working, you know, against gravity. Or gravity, well, you're not really working against, you get what I mean, though. You're trying to slow yourself, the descent, when the laws of physics are going, nah. That was so dumb of me. I actually thought that might kill us. Triachnid, actually a horrible boss fight for us right now, because we can't control the damage that comes out of it. Some of those attacks are almost impossible to dodge, so we did get an HP upgrade, and a Curse of the Unknown running away right now would be very nice. Okay, so we were low on HP. Not quite dead, but low. Now, if you'll excuse me, gotta sign out of Skype here. I'm not gonna belabor the point. You heard it in the background. It's going boo. Okay. Never should have taken so much damage on the depths too, but you know, if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, right? Would we? I mean, if I got candies and nuts for Christmas, and I'm not even talking about candies nuts, but if we got candies and nuts for Christmas, I'd be pretty happy, but I'm also, you know, approaching 30. I'm at the point, and I've talked about this, you know, probably every holiday season for like the last 3 years in these Isaac videos, but I tend to receive less on Christmas these days than I give. And that's a natural balance of approaching a certain age in life. You know, I'm sending the elevator back down. I'm at the point where if I got like a $20 bill in a card for my grandma, I would have to call her and be like, Grandma, I'm nearly 30 years old. Like, we're approaching ridiculousness here. You know, you got to retire someday, Grandma. Think about this $20. You got to put that in an index fund tracking the performance of the S&P 500 at 7% annually. So we're gonna, yeah, I mean, that's just what it is. We're gonna get hit here. This room is hell. But, it's not that Christmas is a, or holidays, let's say. It's not that the holidays are about the game theory of, you know, spending less than you receive. It's more about spending time with your family, obviously, but candies and nuts for Christmas, at least I'm getting a gift that I would be like, you know, I'll eat these. Hey, thanks for the candy. I have a great excuse to eat this now. And everybody knows that bad food that you get as a gift, food that's bad for you, you get as a gift, when you eat it, it doesn't count to your body. Your body's like, it's Christmas, just send these calories straight through. You know, we're not holding on to these. Give them a break. It's the way it works. Also, vacation calories don't count. We're probably going to die. Let's resist that. Because this run is... I'll just level with you. We should not die on today's run. It's not bad enough to die on. It's not amazing. But it's far from bad enough to die on. We've got a good spacebar item. Our damage is... You're gonna say that I'm, you know, moving the goalposts here? I don't think I am. Our damage is great. It's not a step above great. At least not yet. The real problem for us has been defense. And admittedly, I've let a lot of bad damage hit me. Especially over the course of the past 2 floors or so. But as long as there is blood in my body, we got a chance here. This is our chance to fight back against the narrative of, you know, once you lose, you're more likely to lose in the future. We had a really, like, a streak that was going pretty well, although, honestly, a lot of those runs were very easy, if I'm being honest with you. And then, you know, we lost on rerun after building a run that, to be honest with you, we could be proud of. Take your time. Look for tinted rocks here. I can't tell if this is a tinted rock. It was not a tinted rock. But it is a decent avenue. Wow, that was one heck of a speedy attack there. Did you see that? Tinted rocks, please. There is a tinted rock. No small rock. 1 spirit heart. Guess who's back? Back again. Confidence. Telefru. Okay, don't get hit by that. And then, of course, he says, guess who's back? You get the idea. The other day, I asked Michael A. L. Fox, I said, what's your favorite song with hello in it? And he said, you know, I was thinking, you know, you got Hello by Adele. You got Hello, Hello, My Place Called Vertigo. Hello, Goodbye. And he says, does hello have to be in the title? And I said, no, it's of course not. Vertigo is just called Vertigo. And then he said, oh, then in that case, my favorite song with hello in it is the one that goes, hello, my name is what? My name is who? My name is Slim Shady. And at first I was like, good answer. I didn't even think about that. 2 seconds later, I said to myself, he says hi, not hello. What's this guy talking about? I can't tell to this day if he was a joke master and he was trolling me, or if he had accidentally made a mistake, one of which, of course, is acceptable. The other one is unforgivable. I mean, have you heard the Marshall Mathers LP? Oh, you're an Eminem fan? Who's this, then? Holds up picture of Devin Sawa dressed as Eminem from the Stan music video. Yeah, I know the name of the actor who played Stan in the Stan music video. You know why? Because Devin Sawa was famous. Not just for that. It's not like he was an extra they hired to be in that. He's just not famous anymore. But there was a time where he was up. He was like a B tier JTT. Okay, so I mean, the AWAS rune is now useless. We should have used it. Oh, yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter, actually. Since it's all about survival, it's irrelevant. I hate these guys, dude. These freaking ghosts, they get me now. And I don't mean they get me in like a, you know, you complete me sort of way. I mean, they have my number. Got him. Got him! But if we can make it through this room, we can make it through anything. Go for it, dude. Telepills. Ooh, I don't dislike it. There are some rooms that I will allow myself to take damage on without, I'm gonna check and see if the secret room's back here, because, you know, possibility of there being spirit hearts is very important. That still might not have, let's be honest, we're not gonna use 18 bombs, so it doesn't bother me. There is no secret room there. We had to make sure. Had to see with my own 2 eyes. Good work. Because there could be spirit hearts in that secret room. Sorry, in the cursed room. So we had to go for it. There could be health in the secret room as well, which would be, of course, very useful for us, but no such luck, and you know what? That's okay. Ever since we've had to play better, we've played better. And that's not always guaranteed. It's a bit of a tough call, isn't it? Because you sort of have to open these. And the first one did not work out. But it did almost pay for itself. Killed like 1/3 of the enemies here. A luck upgrade actually could win us the game. It's extremely wishful thinking, but... See, Fishtail gave us more flies that time. Unlikely to be super useful, but here we are. I think you have to blow this up. Looking for the secret room, but also looking for a chance to get something out of that. Technically, we earned a key. We don't have Guppy's tail, so I wouldn't expect to need 8 keys for a normal chest, but it can happen. This would be a great time for a Hierophant card. Might not be the way it's actually pronounced, but we've created our own pronunciation, for better or for worse. Ace of Clubs. Actually, basically terrible. Although there might come a time, I mean, I guess I could foresee a situation in which we do use 23 bombs, but it's pretty unlikely. Actually seemed like a decent play there, as I never thought of using the Ace of Blank preventatively. That was a horrible place to stand. So we took a Mimic out of the equation. Oh, there was a rock, and it blocked. After all that, if we got hit by that ghost, I would have been displeased. Now, for all the flack that I'm gonna get for this episode, and much of it is deserved, you gotta admit, not a whole lot of help in the Spirit Heart or HP department at many points over the course of this run. Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong. Sure, much of the damage we took should never have been taken. But there are a lot of runs in which I probably have taken a lot worse damage, but it sort of gets glossed over by the fact that a standard amount of Spirit Hearts drops. Drop, I suppose. That has not happened here. I think we gotta try this. If you drop a Troll Bomb, I am never going to play this game again until tomorrow. So, you know, ball's in your court. Got to admit, it gets the people going, at least. Mystery Sack is an out for us. But it's probably, well, I mean, it's definitely not a high percentage out. Plus, we gotta live for a while to potentially make use of it. Like, right now would be a really good time for it to pay out with anything like an Algiz rune, for example. Okay, this is alright. 3.5 luck. I got hopes. This could win us the game. It probably will not be enough, but it could. An Ace of Hearts has a theoretical chance to be useful if we could actually get an HP upgrade at some point. I was really looking for Algiz, but I'll take a Bracano rune before an annoying fight. I guess Fishtail maybe really only does double flies. There we go. One Spirit Heart completely changes my outlook on this run. The Devil, also good. For this boss fight specifically. We don't need our money for anything. Burnt Penny is not too relevant right now. But it should let you know that I'm a little scared about the situation that I still bothered to pick it up. Okay, so we're going to take the Devil card in here, of course. Plus 1.75 damage is largely irrelevant when we're talking about the amount of damage we got, but largely irrelevant does not mean useless. And on a run that's a little close here, I'll take it. That should make him disappear. And now we'll make him disappear. So assuming we don't get hit here, how do we win? It's a couple of ways. Just getting an Emperor card drop early enough would do it. Getting a respawn item, preferably Dark Judas or Lazarus Rag, actually, in the chest would do it. Apart from that, we're gonna have to fight for it, and that doesn't interest me. I'm not built for fighting on this, or I'm not built for loving either. I'm neither a lover nor a fighter, I think. We will take Epiphora. These items are largely junk for us right now, though. And I know the myth of Northernlion is that even in this situation, he would take Tiny Planet. If things were slightly better, I would take Tiny Planet. Part of the thing is, it's not going to help us on the tier cap to begin with. Or on the... Oh, maybe it does lower your tier cap. I'm not sure. And with Epiphora, we might be able to roll with it, but we're just too tight to try it right now. Epiphora, by the way, is great. We do have an issue, and the issue is we can't use Red Candle and still get the Epiphora bonus simultaneously. Rosary is enormous. Actually enormous. Rosary is like Plan C done right, dude. Item, the majority of the time you see it, annoying and largely worthless. Right now, saving our run. Maybe not largely worthless, but usually when you see it, you go, ah, Rosary. I'm going to have to accommodate it. Now it's accommodating us, and I thank it for that. Wait, we can keep our rate of fire room to room here with Epiphora. Has that always been the case? If so, never stop shooting to the right direction. Because a 2 rate of fire with 8 damage is good enough, man. That is some super-powered soy milk territory, I promise you that. So Unicorn Stump actually does nothing for us. We have no orbitals. We have Peeper's Eye. It's approximately negative 20% worth it to try to make that happen. What have I done? I gotta pivot. We lost our rate of fire temporarily. We can build it back, though. Who cares, right? Keep it going. Keep it going. There's a 3. 3's pretty good. We're at a dead end regardless. Dude, this is 9 lives. Please let me kill 9 lives man last. There we go. We did not get 9 lives, but an Eternal Heart is worth something. Gosh darn it. And I think we're gonna pull this one out. Whether or not we deserve it is, you know, that's for you and the god of your choice to decide. Because, good lord, some bad damage, but I still feel like we were also handed kind of a bad draw here in terms of, like, ever getting Spirit Hearts. We did get some. Can't act like we didn't get any. Less than average, but if we're going to complain about something being less than average on an Isaac run, you know, it's a little tone deaf. Every run has deficiencies and strengths, and I do think our strengths greatly outweigh our deficiencies, at least by this point. Let's start firing in this direction now. So we did get Pisces. I guess we would prefer to get the virus over anything else, so stop shooting Lust if possible. Bombs are the worst, though, so at least kill Sloth last now. Get a good tarot card, like the Emperor. Or Bob's Rotten Head. This is another all-time classic. Okay, Panic Power from Adrenaline. It's like the longer you spend on a room, the more damage you do, something like that. The longer you spend on a floor, the more damage you do? I don't know. Dude, all I'm asking for is a way out of this floor eventually. Do we have to hit every dead end on a run where there's a little bit of a question about our survivability? I mean, a 40-minute Isaac run is no joke. This is a little on the longer side for, you know, lately, at least. You know what? We can totally use Red Candle without compromising Epiphora. I'm learning a lot about Epiphora. I'm learning, you know, it took me a while to even respect it as an item, which is a personal failure. But now I'm learning to love it as an item, and that's an important step in my relationship with Epiphora, because Tears upgrades are not always easy to come across. I'll take them as I can find them. We almost got hit there. Okay, we're actually, kind of in a terrible situation. It's okay. Kill Sloth last. Not Bob's Rotten Head, please. I'm begging you. Oh my god. You had to do it, didn't you? This is a tough room, dude. This room is like actually 0% a joke. Dude actually launches these doubled spiders like right on top of me. So honestly, we have activated like our Super Saiyan abilities just to survive as long as we have on this room. Oh, that was so close. It's hard to dodge them while they're in the air. That was heinous. Okay, so what's the next step? As long as there's no mimics, take your time and look for some second secret rooms. Or some secret rooms, for that matter. This would be a really bad time to die to, You could probably make a case for Unicorn Stump temporarily. It'd be a really bad time to die to Greed, is what I was gonna say. It's fine. Are you a wizard? That's fine. We'll just wait it out. Who cares? I'm a doctor too. Does not reroll every item on the floor. So, we basically just have to win. Easier said than done, but if you think you're gonna get hit, it's when you pop Unicorn Stump. Better safe than sorry. I don't expect to be entitled to kill Blue Baby in like an instant on every single run. But I will say, it is taking forever here. And if you want to be true to the run, and be a total scumbag. We could stand still, get Nod Leaf to work, and have Peeper's Eye kill every enemy. That is something that would work. It's gonna take forever, and in a way, that's actually like worse than a loss. That's a loss of dignity. Now, if we were dealing with a streak of any magnitude, I might consider it. But just a normal Blue Baby run, it's a requisite skill as an Isaac player to be able to kill Blue Baby without getting hit. I'm not saying you should be able to do it every time, but some of the time you should be able to kill Blue Baby without getting hit. We've almost got it already, it looks like. We've done it. So that was scary. We did redeem ourselves maybe somewhat at the end. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.